Hi friends and welcome back. So today I wanted to teach you how to use stick and stitch. So stick and stitch is basically like sticker paper that's a dissolvable film paper with a design pre-printed on it. So you don't have to think up something new, draw it, and you don't even have to transfer it. It's honestly so nice. You just peel it off and stick it on your fabric and begin stitching, and once you're done, you apply some water and that film totally disappears. So it is super convenient and super easy and beginner friendly to use. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. To get started, you'll first want to choose a design and then go ahead and peel off the back. You'll then stick that sticker wherever it is on your hoop or whatever it is you're stitching onto and place it where you like it. Here I'm adding a bit of pressure to that, though it's kind of hard to do on the top of the hoop, so I'm transferring it over to the back and I'm pushing on the back just to ensure that it truly sticks to the fabric. And it sticks really well to kind of flatter or not as textured fabrics. So here I'm using a cotton linen blend, and also 100% cotton of course would also work great for this. But you just want to ensure that it really sticks so that it doesn't come off during the stitching process. Once you have it stuck onto your hoop, you're essentially ready to stitch. And I really think that is a large part of the beauty of stick and stitch, is that it has such a quick startup. Like, you don't have to transfer or worrying about tracing with good lighting, or like being stressed out and holding a tense hand while you're transferring. It just really takes off a lot of stress, which I really like that aspect of it. So now once you have it stuck, you are simply ready to begin stitching, and this is also the beauty of the stick and stitch, is that you get to design it with whatever stitches you prefer and whatever colors you like. So this stage is just up to you and your creative freedom. I also just wanted to mention, while you're stitching, it's really important to use a quality embroidery floss such as DMC embroidery floss or Anchor floss, because if you get some of the cheaper brands, whenever it comes time to dunk this in water, the embroidery floss will actually bleed on your fabric. So just ensure a nice quality floss that you're using. Once you're done stitching, you're basically ready to dunk your piece in water. However, before dunking, I always take off my embroidery hoop because I stain it. I don't want it to bleed. Also, I imagine it takes a long time to dry and potentially could create some mold, so I always take the hoop off. And then I'm just going to grab a glass of water here that I filled with some lukewarm water. And then I'm going to submerge my entire piece into this water, and it will begin to dissolve right in front of me. And this just takes a few minutes, so you can simply set it in the water and leave it there for like 3 to 5 minutes and then come back to it. But you also don't have to use a container like this. You can just run it under the sink under running water as well. Either way, whichever you prefer. This way is just a bit easier for recording purposes. And so once you let this sit for a bit, you'll see the paper starts to come up. However, all of it won't come up like this, so we'll have to kind of help it just in a bit. After a couple minutes have passed, you can go ahead and use your fingers to kind of help the leftover residue disappear and get off the design just by brushing your fingers over that. And you'll also want to extra pay attention to those grooves where stitches kind of connect or there wasn't much room of fabric in between, because the paper can kind of like to hide in there. So just be sure to help it and kind of do whatever you can, or at this point you can also take it to running water to make sure none of the residue gets stuck on your fabric. Once you've finished rinsing, now you're onto the drying phase. And before I hang mine to dry, I like to use a paper towel just to kind of soak up the excess water so that it's not like literally dripping everywhere. So I just pat it a couple times, and once it's no longer at that super wet and drippy phase, I can go ahead and air dry it or set it in a place by the sun and let it dry out. For the purposes of this video, I actually sped up the process and used my blow dryer on cool setting, and so I did it in like maybe 7 minutes. But yeah, once it's totally dry, you can go ahead and set it back in your embroidery hoop and officially finish your piece by backing the hoop. And yeah, I hope you found this video so helpful. If you did, would you go ahead and hit that like button? Also, after going through the water, if you notice your piece looks a little bit more flat, you can use your needle to kind of fluff up those stitches, especially satin stitches or like French knots. You can kind of reshape them just to help them get that look they had previous to the water. And here is my finished piece. It just needs to be backed, which I'll do that later. Before parting, I also just wanted to mention that I'm going to be having a variety of stitch and stick packs available in my shop with numerous different designs, so you can be on the lookout and stay tuned on my Instagram or here on YouTube. And until next time, my friends, happy stitching!